No Pain sounds to me like a song of the times.
Um, yeah, Feel No Pain is just a reminder that however fortunate you are and however comfortable you can't shut your eyes to what happens around because it creeps up on you. So if there's a problem, um, however perfect you think your life may be, you will eventually be affected by other people's problems. So to be aware and to do the right things to make a balance. And it's a song for um, all of us, you know, as a reminder that it's a problem that belongs to all of us.
Sade, the band, Sade, uh, I think has established a distinctive sound of their own. What's behind the arrangement of the music?
The songs come together without much explanation, really, you know, it just sort of evolves. Often the lyrics dictate the mood of the song. Other times, maybe there's a backing, we lay down something first, and then whatever feels right goes on to that. You know, it happens like in quite a divine way, you know, it just occurs. You know, maybe I'm singing something and then Andrew just sits down and plays something and it's right. Basically, everybody contributes and it comes from all different directions.
Is Sade considered soul?
You know, it's soulful music. It doesn't necessarily sound like the soul people recognize, but comes from inside, and that's what I consider to be soul music. I mean, I think a lot of folk and a lot of jazz is soul music. A lot of flamenco, even classical music, can come from the soul. If it gets you there, then it's soul music.
Is there any kind of philosophy maybe behind the band when you're all together writing your music?
It's something which has to be felt. You know, we don't really have any pattern, working pattern. We're very sort of anarchic and random. We're not exactly what people would expect, you know. We're not very sort of organized.
When you first entered the scene, 84, Diamond Life, there was pretty much a lot of synthesizer, dance music. But you succeeded. Would you explain how you shone through this music at the time?
I think there's a lot of people who are open to a lot of things. I think it's the reason we managed to break through. We actually got a following, quite a big following behind us in England. You know, we played live and people came to see us. I think there's a lot of people who are open to taking in lots of different things if only it's made available, you know. It wasn't so amazing that people liked what we did. It wasn't so incredible. I think that the same people will still be attached to us. I don't think by disappearing and things changing that the door closes necessarily.
Speaking about going away, the 4 years that we didn't hear from you, what did you do?
Well, we sort of got on with our lives, basically. We started living again a little because we'd just forgotten what life was all about, I think. You just keep going and going. I went to live in Madrid, in Spain. I built a house. Well, not physically, brick by brick, but I bought this house, which was a sort of crumbling ruin. And I didn't know it was a crumbling ruin.
Where's the house?
The house is in London. And so I had to get a bit involved with that. And inside the house, in the basement, we made a studio, so we finally got our own studio. After all these years, you know, we've got a place that's our base. Yeah.
Would you be able to describe each member of the band, maybe some characteristics, what it's like working with them?
Yeah, everybody in the band's very different. I call Paul Scissorhands because he always has scissors in his hands and he's always cutting things out of magazines and newspapers. I don't know what he does with them. I don't know if he eats them. I don't exactly know what he does with them, but he likes to collect things. and we call him Producer Man because he sleeps during the album. Most of the time he just sort of sleeps, and he just wakes up, walks in at the right moment, says the right thing, makes the right comment and goes back to sleep. But he's sort of very baroque and roll. He's built himself this sort of very Vegas type little castle in the middle of London, and he lives there with his very baroque and roll family and shocks the neighbourhood, basically. Andrew's very sort of faddish. He's called Fad Man. He's got the latest technology. It's usually so small it fits in his pocket, and he gets very disappointed if you're unimpressed, so you have to react. But he's our techno wizard. He's the man who knows how to switch the computer on and off and much more. Andrew's completely different sort of person. Andrew's, for me, he's very good because he's quite levelling to me. I'm quite a fiery person, and he puts perspective into my vision, I think. We work very well.